I bet you're wondering why I've called y'all here today. This one's about motivation. Sometimes the longest distance in the world is the walk from the house down to the studio. It's the hardest thing to do can be to motivate you to do something that feels like work. And so eliminating that barrier we should do it in a way of like making a habit. So when you make a habit, what you do is you do the same thing every day. And it turns out if you can just cross that barrier, if every day you walk down to your studio, you open the door and you sit in that space, set a timer for 5 minutes. Like if you can't make yourself get into work, say every day I'm going down there for 5 minutes, and then do that for a week and start setting that habit. And you know what happens when you say I'm going down there for 5 minutes. You come down here like, oh, this needs to be put up. And so you start rearranging a few things and you're like, oh, I forgot to take this piece of pottery and finish the bottom. I'll just finish that and I'll put it away. And then, things start rolling along. The whole thing about motivation is showing up. So I feel like if I can just find a reason to come down here every day, then I get something done. It's really actually way more simple. Also, I shouldn't make pottery into work. When I start calling it work, or like I need to work on 20 pots, then it sounds like something I have to do and not something I want to do. So I changed entirely my way of thinking about pottery and how I wanted pottery to be a part of my life. Like I thought, I want to sell pottery. Mixing up your passion with money, it gets complicated. It gets to a point where then you start being driven by the money instead of driven by the love of making the piece of pottery. And the thing that I love to do that I can almost not tear myself away from every day is drawing pictures. Every day when I draw my pictures, and I think, after that, I want to make the picture more permanent than this magic marker drawing that it is, then I can put it on a piece of pottery. So that motivation of saying, I love to draw on pottery, that is a love, and I'm doing it out of my passion. The pottery is going to cost a lot of money when I hand paint something on it, and it's a one-of-a-kind piece of art. Now it costs a lot, and the customer does respect that. So if the customer doesn't respect that, that's not your customer. Your customer is the person who's going to say, a lot of work went into this. This thing is beautiful. I want this. And that's your customer. So don't get confused and think your high-end piece that you're going to end up making is for everyone. It's not for everyone. Your customer is a special person who sees value in the individual, unique piece of work that you have created. I had to make myself get back into the studio. I had to cross that 20 feet or whatever it is. Maybe it's 50 feet. I think it's 50 to 60 feet from my house to my pottery studio. And in that space, there is just hours and hours of not crossing that space when I'm doing other things. I could come out to my studio and sit in here and just, fool around on Facebook. I can come out here and hang out instead of leave my phone in the house so that I have private time away from anything related to the rest of the world, just to give myself some seclusion, which we don't have a lot of seclusion anymore because we're constantly inviting people into our personal time now. You really need to make space for your personal time and for your personal joy in doing your pottery.
Here we go. One thumb's going all the way in.
I think when you love something and you put a lot of passion into it, the money comes. I don't really like the idea of doing volume. I mean, for me, if it's for you, if it's like, I love throwing 50 pots and working like a slave and just busting it out and painting everything the same color because that's what goes fastest. And for me, that's not my joy. But if your joy is stacking up 1,000,000 pots and then here they are, world, buy my 1,000,000 pots. Mine is more like, I want to make this thing and then I want it to be valued. I want to think that it's really good. And then I want to hand it to somebody else who thinks it's really good and thinks it's worth the price. That's important too. and they have to enjoy the process of like, I know the artist that made this beautiful thing. And I think that's great. I think it's great for them and it's great for you. And I think that's the goal. I don't think it's like I need thousands of people to own my pottery. No, I need a couple of hundred people to own my pottery. But I need them to really value what they're getting.
A little slice off.
And when I'm throwing, I just want to throw what I want to throw. I was like, I really wanted another little flower vase. So I threw a flower vase. And that was great. That made me happy. Drawing makes me happy, and I need to get back to drawing now. I have more doodles to make. My zine is ready, you guys. It's on my website. I've sold a few, and I'm super excited about it. I got the cutest little bags for them. Maybe I can show a picture of it right here. Put them in so when people are shopping at my booth or something, they can walk away with this cute little bag with the zine in it, and that'll be great. And then I've got these clear plastic sleeves for shipping so that they don't get scuffed up or anything. They stay perfect. And I ordered in those perfect little cardboard little media mailer. They're gonna make perfect stocking stuffers. So I'm really excited about Christmas time. I think I can ship out plenty of these. It's really fast to ship out, really good. Would you guys like a video on how I ship stuff, how I ship my pottery? A lot of people ask all the time on the pottery channels, like, how do you ship? What do you box it in? What size boxes do you use? And all that stuff, and I can go over all of that in a video. Would you like to see that? Let me know. It's a good size bowl. Way too big for cereal.